to Yatta debates. You know, we had a little break. I was on vacation in DR.
Yeah, he went to DR.
Yeah, I'm back safe. So, dispel all the propaganda. I was in Puerto Plata. So, if you guys get the chance, go out there and visit it. It was beautiful. I didn't want to come back, but
here we are.
We got a show to do. So, today on Yatta debates, and we got Shelly back.
Yep.
So,
hey guys.
Shelly, how you been?
Been chilling. You know, I enjoyed my week off from Yatta debates. Doing nothing here in New Jersey in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So, me and Shelly, in the meantime, we were chopping it up over a topic, which is kind of funny because we're using it to discuss this topic, and that is
technology. The takeover of technology.
The takeover of technology. I just want to get this starting to say that in our lifetime alone, we've seen like so many transitions from like technology. Like I still like since my parents like grew up like around like the whole hip hop era, I still seen like records and then cassettes and then cassettes went into like CDs and CDs just went to MP3s, MP3 went into streaming. And it was just like, I'm like, damn, I'm only 27. like what's really going on? So.
Yeah, like I remember like the big old, you had to have a room dedicated to a computer where now you just walk around with your phone. It's everything. Like you had to walk around with an iPod, a digital camera, and your phone. And then if you were really back in the days, you had to have something to text message on. So
I never had.
I remember that.
I never had one of those pagers.
You never had a pager?
No, I still like to this day. I don't even know how this works. I'm like, what do you do? Like, how does this work? So,
I had one of them old cell phones, like the Verizon ones, where like you could record the ringtone on it. Yeah, but I never had like any of the cool stuff, like a two-way or because I was young in the early 2000s. I was like 10.
Yeah, so, like, when all that shit like really started popping off, and everybody was talking like we was in like what 4th, 5th grade. Like,
yeah,
I ain't even know fucking pager. I'm walking around with that fucking brick. the CD player. This shit.
Yeah, I had a CD player. It was baby blue with a little with the little demon tail on it, like the little devil's tail on it. I had a CD player. I used to burn CDs. Make a mix. And track number 7 used to be like my go-to track. Like I put all the leading up to that heat, and then I do track 7 would be like that hit right there.
I think that's part of the reason we wore like those baggy ass clothes. It's not going to fit in there today. Can you imagine? Like it was like, all right, so I had to fit the CD, then it had like the display button. I mean, display screen, and then like the power and the play button. It was like this big.
And then think about it. What if one CD had one song on it, and then another CD you had to carry? You remember people used to drive around with the CD books in their car? So. Yeah, technology has come a long way. Like my kids probably won't even know that. If I showed them a CD right now, they probably be like, "What's that?"
Yo, the funniest thing too, like I was with Marty the other day, and he was riding around in the CD skip. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" like I haven't heard a CD skip in like the last Like I can't it's like 5-6 years. I didn't hear a CD skip longer than that. Like I was just like, because before like. Smartphones and everything, like I still had my iPods. Like I had an iPod. I had the Nano, like the rectangle one, like not the super big one, but the whatchamacallit. I had that one. I was like sometime like in middle school or something like that.
Yeah, I had the big block black iPod. Yeah. That one with the screen on it. My mom tried to play me and get me a shuffle. I was like, no, I don't want that. I want to be able to see what I'm playing. I don't want to shuffle through songs because maybe I don't want to listen to it. And then I got shuffled through like 180 songs just to get one song. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna get an iPod. And then once I got an iPod, I was like, no, I can't live my life like this, like without this. And then I got the little CD converter adapter for when I had got my first car, and I had like a 92 Honda Civic. I used to plug it in, plug my phone in, or you remember the radio adapters that they had, like where you would change it to a certain radio station for your phone to be able to play the music if it didn't have like a cassette thing and it had the CD thing. So I used to do that to play music in my car off my iPod, and then I don't know what happened to it actually. I don't even know. But yeah, like even like we were saying with all these advances in technology, like just like the internet alone, like before the internet was just something that we did fucking research papers on and like we played little games on and shit like that. And I don't know, we used to like just do that for like hours, just look up shit. Like I was like so new to us, and now it's just like
it's so commonplace. Like I remember we used to have to go over to like my aunt's house to use the internet because like my parents wasn't going for that shit. Like, they was like, what you need the internet for? I gotta do a book report. Go to the library.
Yeah.
Like
we had internet, but we had dial-up. So it was like if somebody was on the internet, you couldn't use the phone. So my mom went and got a second phone line to use the internet, which was my brother's phone line, and the computer was in his room. So if somebody wanted to get on the internet, we'd have to go down there, log on to AOL, wait for it to come, and then it would load. Like you had to wait like at least like 5-10 minutes for something to load. If I wait 5-10 minutes now for something to load, I'm really determined to be on that page because I'm not waiting. Like if it's taking that long, I'm out of there. My patience is thin.
Yeah.
So
and that's what we were saying. Like and that's one of the things that we was discussing is just like the effects of like too much technology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Both positive and like negative in a sense, you know? Like and I think more so for us it's just like I think it's easier for us to adapt and like fall back because like we've seen like the transitions so many different times and we had to go through that process. So it's like it's not new to us. Like it kind of irks us, but it's not new to us. But then you got like kids that's like born into like high-speed internet, you know what I mean? And they so used to like like that, and it's just like we see that reflecting their attention spans because like everything is just so like instant. Like someone can't sit down and watch a movie for like 2 hours. They start like losing their mind, like they just ready to get into the action. Like so, like what do you think of some of the effects? Let's start off with what do you want to start off with, positive or negative?
Let's start off with the positive effects.
You said I want to start it off on a good
note. With the advances in technology now, we're able to access more information versus before when we used to have to like go and really look for stuff. Like you'd have to go, if it wasn't at your library, you'd have to order it, wait for it to get mailed to that library, then wait for that library to contact you to let you know when that information was available, or you'd have to go through like different I forgot what that system is in the library where you'd have to go look through it and find things and things like that. So now it's more simpler to access that information. You literally have it at your fingertips now. Like in our phones, we don't have to go home and wait till we get home to go use the computer. Because I remember just even when I was in high school, if I used the internet on my phone bill was $150 immediately. Immediately. Like if you even signed into the internet, they were charging you like so much money. So I remember that time when you couldn't use the internet on your phone, whereas now if my internet is not fast enough on my phone, I'm calling AT&T Blacken on it. So
you got AT&T?
Yeah. So it's just it's like it's better for us as far as accessing the knowledge, but then I also feel like because it's so readily available for us, people don't take advantage of it. It's like it's there and they're like, okay, whatever, it's still there. Like, they don't fact check things, and that's like, you know, that leads into a whole different.
Well, that's the thing. Like you said, with so much information and how easily it is accessible, it's also as easily to manipulate. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like, and I remember Denzel Washington said this. He said it's not about like who has the right message, it's about like who gets it out first. You know what I mean? Like we all seen like these like little bullshit tabloids like, oh, The Rock is dead or this person is dead or X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, with it being at your fingertips, you give people like the power to manipulate that shit also instantaneously and send out like the wrong message. And we seen that again with, remember the whole Cambridge Analytica shit that was going on? It was just like something like that where they said they was using the data to manipulate the feelings and ideals of people. You know what I mean? And because it's like so instantaneous, and it was just like, okay, this triggers people. Let's constantly parade them with these messages and get that reaction. You know? So it's a good and a bad to it, just like with anything else. It's just like it's all about like how you use it. And but
even with how we interact with people over the internet now. Years ago, we'd have to go call somebody on a pay phone or call somebody from your house phone and say, hey, meet me at XYZ at XYZ time. And if you weren't there at that time, that person can't text me like, hey, where you at? Like, you just have to wait there. And
if it's a dub, you just like, well, damn.
All right, well, there goes that. Like, whereas now I could just text somebody or FaceTime them and be like, hey, where are you at? Like,
I'm on my way. I'm right around the corner.
Yeah. So it's that you get people are more accessible now. That's the only advantage to me that is accessibility in the internet, because as far as everything else, it wasn't designed for that. Like, as far as what I was taught the internet was for, it was really designed to share information through different networks of computers between different like entities into the government. Because I used to be a real big conspiracy theorist, and I was reading.
Still are.
I mean, I still am. Don't get me wrong. But I was reading Behold the Pale White Horse, and he touched on technology and the advances in technology. And this book was written in the 80s, and a lot of the stuff in that book is very relative to today. And in the book, he talks about how the internet was going to be a tool that they used to manipulate the mass. Like, they were going to use that to manipulate people, manipulate us, and then limit our interactions with people and things like that. They were going to use like the internet and computers to do that. And this is the 80s, when the computers were like big bricks, like big old, like you really had one server here, and then the screen here, and then the keyboard here. And if you had money.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't have money, you didn't have a computer. You had a typewriter, whatever have you had, but you didn't have a computer. There's that. And then computers only had like 1 gigabyte of memory, like not even.
Now
like,
it's like multi terabytes and.
Yeah. So like, with that, that's how I perceive it. The internet is like, I use it to my advantage, because I know that a lot of the stuff that they put out here, sometimes it is propaganda, sometimes it's sensationalism, sometimes it's not always in our best interest. And also they target you based on what you search, what you do. Like, a lot of these places, we give them access to share our information and like
all of them terms and conditions that none of us read.
Yeah, like you just click accept, and then that's it. And then now you wonder why you're getting ads about spoons and toasters, because you're Googling spoons and toasters. So Facebook is like, hey, I see you're Googling spoons and toasters. Would you like a spoon or a toaster? So that's why I'm like, they really take advantage of that. And even if you could be like the most computer smart person, clean your history and everything like that, they're always going to find a way. Like, technology is ever like evolving, like all the time, every day.
Like you said, the moment you accept that terms and conditions, like your information is all out there. And proof is in the pudding. The moment you go on Amazon, right? And you click something, and like, let's say like you said, you're just looking at like a new phone or something. The moment you click over into the next page, but I don't care if it's your Yahoo Mail, your Facebook or whatever, it's an ad for that same phone. Yep. And I'm gonna tell you this though, it got scary at one point where it's just like, I wasn't even searching something up. We said something in the room, right? We said something in the room, and then I went back to the house or whatever, and I went on YouTube, and it, like, something like similar popped up, and I was just like, it's not coincidence.
It's not a coincidence, because when we give them access, when we give those terms and conditions, we give them access to our microphones. So they open our microphones and cameras randomly whenever they feel like it, and sometimes spy on our conversations.
I remember they had that whole thing.
They had a whole data breach about that, even on Facebook. Like, I remember my sister used to put a piece of black tape over her camera on her phone, because she'd be like, I don't want them watching me and what I'm doing. Like, so I know people who turn their phones completely off or leave them places, because like your phone literally will record you, because when we give certain apps permission, we don't look to see what we're actually giving them permission to. Like, I had to check one day, I was clicking on one of the little Facebook game apps just to like play around and see, and it was like, oh, I give Facebook the rights to my contacts, to my camera roll, to my internet history search. I'm like, no, I don't give you access to this. No, my birthday, my name. So like, now they're targeting me, like they can target stuff specifically to me. Like, no, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I was like, nah, I don't even want to play this game anymore.
You don't ruin it for me.
Yeah. Like that whole thing with the face app that they did, and then people didn't realize that it was your information and your face was being sold to another country.
Well, it's a large market for information because of advertisement. Like, again, like if they know what you like specifically, and if they know the things that you into, it's easier to just say like, hey, just send her these things, as opposed to, and I mean, they even have like the preferences. It was like, did you like this kind of ad? Like, so, I don't know. It's money in your information. Like, today now, it's somebody can make money off anything that you say, or do. You know what I mean? It's easy as like that. All right, so aside from like just like the internet, what about like other technological advances that we've seen, like just like in like our automobiles, or like in transportation, or even just like in the workforce? you know, we see like, me personally, like I worked for Amazon. Trust me, I've seen some, like when people say like iRobot and like robots are like taking over the world, like I want them to know like that's not as far fetched as you think, because I've seen them like bring some machines in there and it's just like they're like, oh yeah, we paid $100,000 for both of these machines, but yeah, like, you know, it's no health insurance, it's no vacation or holiday. It's like, yeah, some maintenance X, Y, and Z, but that's in total won't cost less than it is to keep you employed for 20 years. So when they say like, even when you go to like a McDonald's, I remember it was like nobody at the one on Route 1, right by the Wawa, there was nobody on the cash register. It was a kiosk and everybody was ordering from the kiosk. And I'm like, stop thinking this is just like make believe. Like this is like things like that. It's just like they already implemented, and it's just like now to the point where it's like widespread. The soda machines, the freestyle soda machines, you now can have like peach lemonade Sprite for all.
Yeah, no, dude, you're not lying. Even in New York, they have like the kiosk outside, like that'll tell you the weather if you're stressed out, like all that stuff. Like they didn't have all this stuff before. Like I was walking down the street in New York and I seen a kiosk where you could plug your phone in and charge your phone and do all types of stuff.
Don't they have
on
like
the kiosk?
A public Wi-Fi like down Square? I remember I was down there one time and I was just like you could connect to like a public Wi-Fi thing. I'm just like, yo, the future is now.
Yeah. I remember one time, and I swear I have this screenshot on my laptop. I went to Philly for the first time years ago. I think it was in 2015 or 16. And I tried to connect to a Wi-Fi in a store. And I kid you not, one of the Wi-Fi server names that came up was FBI. Like, I was like, excuse me? I was like, I'm nowhere near the FBI. And then it just disappeared. And then I screenshot it before it could disappear. And I was like, hold up, wait. I went back and tried. If it came back up again, it didn't come back. And I couldn't get the internet. And then it was over with. So I was like, okay, I'm not even going to take it. But
you're like, I'm good off this.
Yeah, no, like the internet, I don't know. I feel like they monitor us too. And that's why when we like you have like I don't feel like people notice like little subtle things that they roll out, because they're not gonna just pull out and just be like, hey, look, we're trying to gather this random information about you. Like Facebook now has facial recognition. I don't know if people know that.
Yeah.
Where like I will upload a picture of myself, or somebody will upload a picture of me, and then I'll get a notification and be like, hey, would you like to tag yourself in this picture? It kind of looks like you. And I'll be like,
that shit, it happened to me. That shit was weird.
I was like, what? So that's just like they have facial recognition technology where like now they can put like if I decide one day to wake up and I'm a terrorist now, they already know where I'm at, because every camera around here is gonna just be like, oh, she's right there.
Yeah.
And it's like we gave them this access to our information, our faces and things like that. Even with the DNA, that technology, like them trying to research like where we come from. I thought that was a scam, because I think that's just a way to get everyone's DNA for like if they need for their own benefits, like if they need to, you know, if there's an unsolved murder from like 50 years ago, 20 years ago, or what now, like, and they can't get the people's DNA because before the only way like they really acquired your DNA was if you committed a felony and you had to give a sample as a part of like being a felon. You have to give a DNA sample. So they didn't have a lot of like civilians' DNA on file. So the government's not dumb. They think of ways how to get people to do things. Like they'll be like, all right, well, tell them they can find out if they have black in their family. And then they do it, and people do it, and they just do it willy-nilly. Like they swab the whole family. Like, come on, kids, the dog, everybody. Like,
I'll tell you like this. Like me, like I'm on the less conspiracy side of the spectrum. And for me, I just think personally, it's just like a natural advancement in technology. And it's just like something that even though we conscious of, it's just always, it's just going to continue progressing, whether you accept it or not, because it's just like, that's how it's always been. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's always, society always advances. And I remember I seen that movie Time Machine, and like they said like they went so far that everything like eventually like reset itself, but it's not gonna stop. And at the pace that we going on, like, you know, yeah, we might see hover cars. I believe they have them, but right now, you remember that meme? They're just like, they got the hover cars. They just won't give them to y'all because y'all screaming, I know my car when it's on 8.
Yeah.
It's like them shits be falling out of the sky. But it's just like things like you're saying, like as far as like the DNA, gathering DNA and swabs like that. It's just like, I think it's just all a part like of a natural part of like the advancement in technology. Like at one point, technology is just like by nature just more efficient in certain things. Like even though as fucked up as it is, and they like taking away jobs and things like that, it's just like it's just something that's just going to happen due to efficiency and competition and competitors and things like that. And I don't know if you like heavily into like politics, but like Andrew Yang, he talks a lot about this, about like the advancements in technology and you know, self-driving automobiles, how that'll take away basically like a lot of delivery jobs. I don't know if you've seen like, and I know I keep quoting Amazon because they keep doing the most shit. They got like a delivery robot drone that like walk on like the sidewalks and deliver your packages. So like, and that's things that they rolling out again with the self-service grocery store. The moment you walk in, it automatically connects to your account, and then you just walk out, and it just takes the money right out of your account. It's just like these things take away jobs. Like, yeah, they more efficient, but they take away man hours and people's ability to eat.
I don't think they do. I think that with that, we adapt to that because a lot of the older jobs that were in effect back in the day, they've evolved into different things. Like with technology, you're going to need someone to man the technology. You're going to need someone to maintain the technology. So I think it's just creating different jobs than what we're used to now.
But the thing is like when we get into that, it's just like, okay, like with the machines that takes the pallets, it's just like, okay, how many technicians do you really need to service like 50 machines? You know, like unless they all go down at the same time, it's just like you might need one person for that, where as opposed to you had 6-7 people pulling those pallets. You know what I mean? And it's just like I don't know, it's weird. And like you said, we do see different jobs coming into play, but it's just one thing that I was noticing is just that even I want to say a couple years ago, but like before I was born, it's just like they had way higher paying jobs without college qualifications. You know, like you didn't have to graduate from college to be making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year 20 years ago. And now it's so much competition that it's mandatory that like if you don't like have that, it's just like it's like the equivalent of not having like a high school diploma. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just it's different, you know. Like, and I remember this is why we see like I worked with this one girl, Simi. She was from India, and that's why she said that's why they have like so many engineering and IT schools over there, because like that's what they really perpetuate them to be. But it's just like when you do that, the field becomes entirely too competitive. You know, it's just like when you have like all these engineers and IT people, like who's your dentist?
Yeah.
You know? So,
and that's something I don't want automated. I don't want a robot dentist or doctor. Like that's just not something I would look into doing.
But in getting into with the doctors, I remember somebody was telling me like a lot of these doctors is like, yeah, they can operate the robotic arms, but actually stitching patients up and like doing like surgical work by hand, they can't do it. They don't have like fine motor skills, like because they've been like so adapted to like technology, you know, like taking out things like cursive writing and like the education curriculum and things that really teach you fine motor skills. They don't have those. It's just like, yeah, like the robotic arm is more efficient, but it's just like, what happens if that breaks down? It was like they got to call the nurse, because the nurse, they go to school for all of these, and they really know how to do like the hands-on. But how bizarre is that like you the lead surgeon and you can't do the stitch? Like it's crazy. Like,
so I don't know. I feel like technology in itself is really, it's like a blessing and a curse.
It's convenience.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's convenient. Because I feel like when I was coming up, like we had to go through. I feel like we watched the technology evolution. Like we watched it come from like where it was 20 years ago to where it is now. Yeah. Like all this stuff is like shocking to me. When I sit down and think about this, like we used to really sit around and wait for like VHS tapes to come out.
Yeah,
like we used to have VCRs. Like if you didn't have a VCR, we weren't watching movies at that house. Like when tapes used to break, when you used to have to go in and rewind the whole tape to get to the beginning of it. Whereas now you can just sign onto Netflix on your phone and do that. You couldn't sign into Netflix. If you told someone in 1991 that you could use your cell phone to watch movies on,
they would look at you like what?
What type of Back to the Future mess are you on?
Yeah, like,
whereas now it's like this is just so common. It's like if you tell somebody you can't watch Netflix on your phone, they're gonna look at you like, what type of phone you got? Like, so it's like,
and that's like to piggyback on your point, like you're saying, like more so like in our time span, because like think about like the time span that they was using like records, like from what, like I don't even know when the first record was printed, but like what, let's say like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then the 80s the H track comes out, like, so that's a span of like just using records, as opposed to like in our 20 years where we've already seen records and cassettes and tapes and things like that. So but one thing that I will say is, and this is something that kind of plagues us with technology and having things being so convenient, is we are plagued with instant gratification. We got to have things now because, like you said, we can stream things now. If we want something, we can order it right now. I know, like my girl, she won't even talk to nobody on the phone to order food. So it's like order food online. Like everything, like you can do with like little to no human interaction, and you can do it now. But like what I say, having like that instant gratification is just like that deteriorates our patience. Like sometimes like we have the inability to wait for things and to like take time on things. And that's why we kind of see people like they'll go through like a lot of different phases because things like might not work for them, and like they don't really see like too much longevity in things. It's just like, and I think that's one thing that we got to get back into, and that's one thing that I tell people with like when we was talking about like finances, especially, is like really thinking in terms of a long-term spectrum, and and that's one of the things that's hard for a lot of people to do. I mean, even for me, I'll take like my personal experience. For me, being so accustomed to technology, the first time that I picked up like a physical book, like really like holding it, it was, for one, I picked an incredibly hard book to read, which I shouldn't have really picked up. But it was really hard for me to like really retain like a lot of things because I wasn't like a real heavy reader. So it was just like, and it just showed me that it was just like, it took time for me to build the patience to like really sit down and like flip through a book. And it's just like thinking about it's like, it's kind of like mind boggling. But then like, I work with kids and like for them, it's just like, I see the same thing. Like they can't really sit down and read a book or sit down and like watch a movie for an hour and a half. It's just like, they so antsy all the time. And it's like, sometimes like, we apply to like, not mental health, but like things like ADHD, and we'll say things like that. And sometimes it's not always that. Sometimes it's just simple. It's just due to like the simple fact that they just don't have the attention span. They so used to things like Vines and TikTok where everything is just like boom, 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 boom. And it's just like, it's hard. They really don't have any patience for anything.
No.
And that's hard. Right?
No, they don't. And that's even with us, our generation. We don't have the patience to wait for things. There's a lot of people now who they see things being projected through like pictures and things like on social media, because now social media has become bigger in how we interact with people. Because before, how we used to interact with people is we used to go places, meet up with people, and do things like that. Whereas now on social media, you can perpetuate whatever you want to be. You can be that. So people see those images and think, I got to be living like this or better. And then they don't realize what they've been doing. They forget about all their accomplishments, things like that. They want the fast life. That's why there's a lot of scammers out here who go and want the fast life, and they don't realize that you have to work towards things. They don't believe in, like a lot of people that I've come across, they don't believe in marriage anymore. They don't believe in being with someone for a long term because they don't see it. They think everybody's just living the fast life. Everybody's in the fast lane. Nobody wants to settle down because everybody wants to be whatever the hottest trend is now on social media. Whereas it's not even like that. There are people who do value these things, but because of what we see on our social media, it makes it harder for people to believe in things like that. Like if your social media friends are always talking about negative things, bashing people, bashing certain stereotypes and things like that, that's what you see every day. Like subconsciously, that's what you're going to believe is what is like, because that's what you see every day. That's what you think everybody thinks, where it's not even like that.
You're right.
So like I've seen a lot, like I've gotten into a lot of heated debates on Facebook and things like that with people. I had to tell myself
She's laughing because she was like, I'm going witness.
Yeah, because I had to tell myself, stop going and commenting on people's stuff and arguing with them. Like, especially when dudes be like, I hate these black women that be talking about their baby daddies. And I'm like, majority of women with baby fathers don't talk about their baby fathers. They live their lives and move on and do what's best for them if they're not with them. And majority of the people that I know that have children are with their children's father, being married to their children's father, or have been with their children's fathers for years, or if they're not together, they co-parent effectively. It's like really like, I don't know how, like maybe it's just certain areas
it's
that
the memes.
Yeah, it's really the memes that people just believe. Like people take memes as like wholehearted truth. Like they will take relationship and life advice from memes that people sit on their phones and computers and type up and spread on the internet like a virus. Like,
and that's what we were saying before. It's just like you can't really like base your situation off of that because it's unique to you. It's personal to you. Like you got to deal with your issues, and no meme is the Holy Bible or text that's going. Why are you laughing over there?
Because people will see a relationship meme and be like, yeah, my man is supposed to roll up $700 rose petals and put them there. Like, that's how I know that he'll love me. And then they'll take a guy who will sit there and be like, let's go read under the stars, and be like, man, you broke. Like that's what they're doing. Instead of really appreciating the gesture of what somebody is doing, they don't. It's like we're conditioned to believe that if you're not spending money and posting relationship goals and taking somebody to different places, that's not relationship goals.
The money phone.
If I don't have a stack of money to my ear, then this relationship is not going anywhere. But that's not even the case. They don't take the time to think like, oh, you have to bond with people. That's why a lot of relationships are temporary, because people think that it's just all what the pictures are, like it's just all the good stuff. And that's what technology, I feel like technology plays a big part in that, because you only see one of a picture and take it as that's somebody's whole life, and that's not even the case.
And think about like how many
shots and takes you had to do that.
And then like, and just like with the memes, like how many memes that we come across in a day. It's just like it's peer pressure that you put on yourself. You know, like it's just like from kind of like operating like that, because again, for me, I take it as entertainment. Like most of the stuff, like I mean, I don't get me wrong. I know when the sub is being thrown at me, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I see. I'm like, all right, I see. But other than that, like, I'm just like, all right, yeah, you know, they memes, they little funny things, like stuff you be posting on your new meme account. We'll post our new meme account there in the description. So but yeah, I take like I never really took social media like really like too serious. It was just always like something fun for me to do. It was just like something to do when there was nothing to do. But
pretty much,
I never really like got into something that was like truly heated. Like I told you, like when I used to do the post on the Yatta debates on Facebook, like I used to have people inboxing me something like da da da, and you said this. I'm just like this is just entertainment for me. Like it's not like I'm not coming at anybody. I'm not like trying to do anything offensive. It's just like all entertainment for me. One thing that I did have to do though is I had to step away from social media for a little bit, and I knew when I was getting like, it was subconscious. It's like when I was going on the computer or I go on my phone and I wasn't intending to go on Facebook, and I just automatically start typing Facebook, and I was like, that's not what I came here for. And it's just like my thing, like even my fingers are just so geared to like just typing in Facebook. And I took like 2-3 months off, and at that time I was just like, it was really like just chilling. Like I wasn't doing anything, but I kind of like distanced myself from anything, like not even just like social media, but like I wasn't even answering phone calls. Like if it wasn't like my mom or my girl, like it was just like I'm not picking up for nobody. And in that time I just like really did like a lot of reading, just a lot of chilling. Like
I thought that's good. I feel like everybody needs a nice little healthy social media break. And I really applaud people who stay away from social media for long periods of time. Like I've hung out with my cousins and friends. They're like, I haven't been on an Instagram page in how long. They go out and live normal lives and do whatever. They're not living for the moment, like going out and be like, hold up, I gotta take this picture for my Instagram. Like let people know I'm out here stepping. Like that's what people do. Like we literally don't enjoy the moment because we're trying to capture a moment. Like so we never really get to enjoy the moment. Like when I went to like in the last debate when I talked about going to the Weeknd concert, and I said that was like something like a dream for me, like to do. Like I said, I would do that before I died.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have my phone on that whole time the concert. Like I took a few snaps in the beginning of the concert, but when the Weeknd actually came out, my phone was somewhere, I don't even know. I think it was in my bag or something, because I wanted to enjoy every minute of it and like look at it, enjoy it, and all that stuff like that. Because I feel like when I'm behind the lens, like I'm trying to capture a good angle so everybody can see like what's going on. I don't care what y'all see. I want to see it. I'm in the moment. I want to enjoy it. And that's why I feel like technology it's just like we disconnect from reality too on there, like on any platform. Like what you saying that you use it for entertainment. That's actually my bio on Facebook. Is my page is for entertainment purposes only. I don't even have my real name on my Facebook page, like because I don't take any of that social media stuff seriously. I literally don't. I post memes all the time, like, or pictures, but it's like I'm not gonna go on there and be like, hey you guys, I just bought a new car. Hey you guys, I just bought some groceries at the grocery store. Hey you guys, I just cursed this guy out at the store because I don't do that. Like I'll just go on there and post things or post spiritual stuff or like post information and things like that or repost stuff because I feel like that's a better way. Like use it as like an entertainment tool. This is not a life tool. Y'all don't go on there trying to figure out somebody's life. Like I've seen people post their whole. I know people who I do not know. Like I don't know them. I've probably never seen them in real life, and I know more about them than I should because of what they post online. Like I know when their car broke down. I know I know all this information that I did not need to know.
Yeah,
because people overshare because then we use these platforms as outlets to vent. We use them like to cope. Like instead of going to like our friends, we go to Facebook. When people get into arguments, the first place they go, Facebook. Yep.
Yeah.
They go right to Facebook. They go right on there and they go post a subliminal. Some people are bold. They tag the person in it and be like, listen.
Because no, somebody thought I posted a meme. It had nothing to do with them, right? It was about like letting toxic people go. They threw out some sort of like they messaged me and then threw up a sub and I added them. I was like, listen, if I have something to say, I'm gonna add you. I have no problem adding you. So that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Okay?
See, I'll tell you.
We won't make you mad.
I tell you no lies. People will sit there like, all right. Take for example, last year I had someone online who kept posting stuff about me, and I could have taken any route to go about that, but I chose not to even entertain that in any way, shape, or form because I feel like, again, social media is how you want to use it, how you're in control of that script. So if I took it like, all right, this person wants to act crazy with me and do all that stuff, I'm gonna ignore you. And ultimately, if it come down to it, if you're still going, I'm just gonna block you. And it's crazy. It takes a lot for me to block someone on social media because I don't take anything really personally unless you're really, really trying to attack me. Like I have 3 people blocked. I've been on Facebook for 11 years. I have 3 people blocked.
That sounds about me. I got like 3 or 4 people blocked.
That's it. And the only reason why I blocked him is because one guy was trying to tell me that he was my prince from Africa, and he wouldn't stop messaging me. He messaged me every day. And then it was this other guy who I didn't answer, so he kept messaging me that I was ugly. And I was like, okay, but you want to talk to me? And then, so yeah, it was just like, only 3 people I blocked on my whole entire career. Like I know people who have block lists that extend like a phone book. Like
that's crazy.
So it's I don't take any of this stuff seriously. Like at the end of the day, I'm here to just expand on my creativity and things like that, and just like be entertaining in a way and figure out go through my self journey as a person. But as far as like taking social media seriously, that is not my avenue. Like even you can tell, and even how like I post, like I don't post anything personal to me. Like I'll post my kids randomly here and there, but like I said, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I think that traffickers will try to steal my kids' pictures. So I really don't try to post them that much. But it's like I really try to I try to disconnect my personal life from my social media life.
Yeah, it's
like this is me on social media, but me in person is 2 different people. Like a lot of people who meet me like offline, like I've met people through online. I met you through online. So it's like a lot of people that I've met offline, they'll be like, wow, you really are like XYZ, because they see social media and think that, oh, she's always posting like selfies and stuff. She's probably conceited, stuck up, and things like that. So we get these perceptions of people that we do not know, and then you can meet the person and be completely different from what you perceive them. So that's the negative side for me for technology, is that we've got disconnected from reality and personal connections and things like that. Whereas before, do you remember how hard it was to like set up blind dates? Like you had to like go through a friend, through a friend, through a friend.
Oh, well, what they
we're gonna set you up with Kenny, and Kenny, he got to go to for he's a good guy and things like that. Whereas now you can go on Tinder, POF, all these sites and meet random strangers, and that's extremely dangerous. Did you guys not learn from Degrassi that people will kidnap you? Like that is dangerous. Don't do that.
I mean, I'm guilty of it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm kind of like a hypocrite because I was using those things for a while too. But also, I learned my lesson because, again, like I'm saying it from experience, people are crazy like on those sites. So we have to bring back like human interaction, because I feel like with technology, that's one thing that we're being stripped of. Like you said earlier, with your girl ordering online, like Grubhub and all that stuff. Like you don't even have to talk to the driver. You can just tip them and tell them leave it at your door and just go. Like
I left it on the app. Like, it's on the app. You can
delivery instructions. Leave it on my door. Like don't ring the doorbell. Don't work. Like so, we've lost touch with human interactions. Whereas we can't even like. I know people who can't hold a simple conversation with someone because they're so used to texting and things like that. You like people will not pick up the phone. Before someone will pick up the phone, they'll text you. And I feel like that takes away an interaction, because texting, people interpret words differently. I could send someone a text message and mean it in one way, and if they're in their feelings about something, and they could read it in another way and be like, "Oh my gosh, she just came for me." Like,
that's happened quite.
Now you're arguing about something that wasn't even an argument because of how someone took what you said in a text message or in a message. Like, if we're personal like friends, I'm gonna be calling you. If we're texting, if I can't text you, like if I can't call you, I'm gonna tell you like I can't call you, like, but I'll text you in the meantime. Like, I'm not in a place where I could talk to you on the phone because I'm very like private when it comes to phone calls and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like people spy on me like when I'm on the phone, like they'll listen to my conversation. So like I have to be like in a nice mellow place to like talk on the phone. But I feel like we should bring back like talking on the phone and things like that, because that's what we're getting away from. Like phones were like a big thing, like talking on the phone. Whereas now it's like staying up all night talking on the phone. You play the music to your girl, like this song dedicated to you, girl. You play some Genuine. Whereas now we don't do that. Like you send a girl like your SoundCloud link and be like, yeah, girl, my mixtape for you. Like that's it. So
I made this one especially.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll say like one thing, like for me personally, like from getting away from it when I was on vacation, I did notice like not a lot of people was down there. Like and me, I just left it in the room. I'm just like, I'm on vacation, and it was like the same with most people there. They just left they phone in the room, and it's just like that's important. Like you said, when you're down there, you on a vacation, you want to enjoy the moment. You want to enjoy every moment. You want to see everything. You want to experience everything. You know, like no offense to anybody back home, but I don't give a fuck with y'all. No
lie.
I'm on vacation. Like I'm here enjoying myself. It's like my mom would call me in the morning to make sure everything was cool, and then I put the phone away. I ain't even keep it with me because I was in the pool too, so I'm not.
Yeah.
And then the beach.
But I've seen people on vacation too, like who will have like the phone strap that you can go in the water with and sit on their phone in the water, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're defeating the whole purpose of being on vacation. Yeah. Go out and enjoy it. Like when I went to Jamaica last year, I didn't even get cell phone service out there, so it was like my phone was really a camera because I couldn't use my phone like to text or call or go online because the Wi-Fi was down at the hotel. So like I just was enjoying the moment, and with that I couldn't even use my phone. So what I did is I didn't even taking pictures. I think I took like maybe like 4 or 5 actual pictures of me being on vacation, but majority of the time while I was there, I actually enjoyed the vacation. And I think like that's what people need to do, like disconnect. Like when you're on vacation, even if you're not out of the country or out of state, like even if you're just on a regular, like you go to the Poconos or you go to like a water park, put your phone down, enjoy the moment, enjoy being there. Like you don't have to like, update everybody and let them know like, yo, here I am at the water park, boys. Like
just touch down in the Poconos with the bros.
Be connected in the moment, because then you're not even gonna really enjoy being there. You're gonna forget about it because you were on your phone the whole time. Yeah. So.
And I'll say for me, like growing up, like I was kind of shy, but even me being like shy at that time, at that age, it's just like growing up, like I'm still like a little bit more reserved, but I'm sociable. Like, so when I went like down to Atlanta, like, and most of the times like when I'm by myself, it's like it forces you to make friends. You know what I mean? But it's just like if you plugged in like to your phone, like, you know, you're just not going to do that. Like, I done like met people from like Canada and like the Bay Area. Even when I was down on vacation, people from Germany and different parts of like Pennsylvania, the Canadians. It's a ton of Canadians there. Yeah, and it's just like not having your phone. And I don't want to say it forces you; it allows you to make those interactions. Even if I never see those people again, like the fact that I still like had that personal interaction with them, with the entertainers. The entertainers was amazing. Like they remembered your name and everything, brought you up for the games. So it's just like you still have like that interaction, and it's just like it's important. It is really important because it's going to get down to a point where we lack. Not us per se, but the generations to come will lack the basic communication skills of just, like you said, ordering food or expressing to somebody like how they really feel, like face to face.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Because people are so quick to express how you feel in a message than face to face. Like, if you're going to tell me something important, life changing, you need to come to my face. Don't call me on the phone. Come tell me to my face how you feel. Like, I've gotten text messages of how people felt about me versus phone call. I feel like that's even more disrespectful to my feelings because you're not allowing me to express my feelings back to you about how I feel about what you said.
It's a safety net though, and that goes back to like one of those things. It's one of those things where sometimes we feel a little bit safer behind the screen, and that's one of the things that, like you said, we gotta step away from because it's like you gotta get out there, basically, and that's what it boils down to. You gotta meet people physically. You gotta make those connections, like physically, read body language, like really get to know and understand the person. But I will say, on the flip side, social media has saved me a lot of time from dodging a lot of bullets, because I was just like, I seen something like, nope, I'm good off this. I mean,
you're not lying, because I've seen some people where I'm like, oh yeah,
you doing too much.
You could be a potential bae, and then it's like you're everybody's potential bae. So now I'm like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's
not doing that.
Like we said, it's good and bad. We're not going to discount social media because it does do some justice, and
it's like it just really depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna use it to do ratchet stuff, do that. But do it. Be the best at it. But just remember, like, what you put out there, you have to remember that's how people are gonna perceive you and take you as a person. So even if like you don't want to be perceived as ratchet no more, you want to clean up your act, people are gonna be like, hey man, I remember you used to be wearing them wigs on Facebook, and they're never gonna let you live that down, because that's how people remember you. Like that's what I'm saying. Like these little 1 second, 5 second things really imprint people. Like that's their impression of you. So you have to be mindful of your first impression of people. That's one thing my mom taught me, was always remember, like, your first impression of somebody is a lasting impression. Mm-hmm. So if somebody meets me and I have a stank attitude, they're gonna always think that I have an attitude. They're gonna think I'm stank. They're gonna be hesitant to like do things with me, talk to me, and things like that. Whereas if they come up to me and I'm like pleasant, they're gonna want to interact with me more. They're gonna want to open up more. Like I have people walk up to me randomly, like while I'm out minding my business, and they'll just start conversations with me out of nowhere, and I'll just be like, okay, like whatever. Well, here we go. Here we go again.
When I first met you, when we was doing the skits with Mar, you was just like all giddy and lovely. Like I was just like, you just laughing like every 2 seconds.
And that's just how I am. Like with anybody, like when I meet people, it's just like I feel like, I don't know, let's just get it going. Like, and I was not like that growing up. I was really shy. Like anybody who knew me, I was really shy. Like I was not out there person. Like I was kind of like, I want to play the background. Like I'd be like, these are my friends. They are the ones who are out there. Like they the bad girls. They the good. They good looking and all that. I'm just here. I'm the friend. I'm the cheerleader. Like I'm just here in the background. And then it's like I had to break out and be like, all right, let me just try to be more open to letting people into my life and being friends with people, because I was awkward and I didn't know how to do things. Like I was awkward in high school. I used to like pick on people. Sorry, Jodeci, if you seeing this, I'm sorry for what I did to you in high school. But I used to be weird and all those things like that. Like people used to perceive me as weird, or they just wouldn't understand me because like of how I was acting. But that's just how I was, period, as a person. Like I've always been like a creative soul. Like I've always just wanted to be like me. Like I never wanted to be like anybody else. I didn't want to emulate any artist. I didn't want to be like anybody who's popular at the time. Like I just always wanted to be myself. So it's weird. Like when we're not used to people being themselves and being their authentic, unique selves, we just be like, oh, they weird. Like don't bother with them. So I used to internalize that a lot and take that personally. Like, wow, people don't like me and they don't want to be my friend. Whereas now I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna post these memes and y'all gonna like it or not. Delete me. So
I'll tell you, for me, like for me, and even still now to this day, it depends on the person. And the person doesn't necessarily have to do anything wrong or do anything that's like outlandish or anything. It's just like, for me, it's just like, it's on a person to person basis. Like I might meet somebody for the first time and I'm like, yeah, friend, like, oh yeah, man, what's up, man? Like even though I never met them, but then in the same sense, flip with somebody else and I see somebody else and I'm just clamming up and I'm just like, I don't know why, I just don't like this person.
It's because of their energy. That's why their energy radiates, and you know.
But this is the thing. Like I might you know radiate with like the wrong people. Just like you know what I mean. Like oh yeah, he cool, but he lies all the time. Like yeah, just like just lying all the time. It's just like, yeah, that's my boy. He cool and everything, but it's not fucking lying. Yeah, but he cool. So yeah, that's just how it's always been for me. And then you know, again, like I said, like from performing and doing things like that, like I've just met a lot of people, you know, being creative, and like that's one of the things that, like, thank you for that too. That's just one of the things that like really helped me keep up, like, you know, those physical interactions. But as far as like stepping away from social media, for me, like I really like had like a routine that like before I did anything, before any Netflix, any video game, any cell phone, like I'll wake up, shower, brush my teeth, breakfast, read, meditate before I touched anything, before any TV or anything came up. And this way I was always dedicating like some time away from it. You know what I mean? And this was like something that I did ritually. And it's something I'll probably like end up getting back to it, but that was just like, and that was like a good like 2.5 to 3 hours, where it's just like that time, and it's just like, it's just quiet. Even if I did have a phone, it was just like to play music or something like that. But yeah, like, and once you do that, it's just habit. Like it becomes so easy because like that's just like my routine. And, like I still wake up every day, shower, eat, read, you know, and it's just setting that time aside. It's like really important.
Yeah, there was one time when I was going through my spiritual journey, I didn't watch TV like at all. Like I was like against any form of like television, anything like that. Like I was like, I didn't watch Netflix. People be like, oh, you watch this show? I'd be like, no, I didn't watch that. No, I don't watch TV. I don't have TV. Like I didn't even have cable. I was like, I don't want to be beaten down with these ads all the time, with this negative news all the time. Like I was like, nope, I don't want to do it.
Man, that's why I don't like the news. The news is like always like just bad. Like it's just like bad news always like just sells. It's just like you never hear somebody on CNBC like, oh yeah, this amount of people graduated from the university today and found jobs immediately. It's just like that's why I don't really watch it anymore. And it's just like when I see like too much like negative news going on, whatever outlet it is, I just close it. I'm like, I can't keep watching this. This is too much bad news going on. Like I was saying, like even with the whole DR thing, it's like I kind of seen it that like they were perpetuating it, and you know I was still like a little bit cautious, but I was just like, all right, it's not in the areas that I'm going into, or must be specific to those resorts. But like they try to like discount the entire Dominican Republic for like this part, like this portion of the island, you know, and it's like the rest of the island, go, you know.
Yeah, and it's like that's how they scare people, like
because it's a train. It's just like, okay, once they get one piece of bad news and then they find something that's like a little bit closer to it, they was just like, this has people's attention right now. Let's keep pushing for this, because that's their whole thing, is just getting ratings. And I found out with the lady that said that she ended up being assaulted, right? So she said that this had already happened and she notified the resort, but she would keep quiet about it for a $2.2 million settlement, and she only went public when the resort like disagreed to the settlement. So it's just like, it's a cash grab now. It's just like, you're not really concerned for human. Like, you're just looking for a quick check.
That's really what anybody is in for now. If you ask anybody who goes into any type of like blogging, social media, thing or anything like that. They're not doing it because they want to genuinely like project their craft and things like that. They're doing it for the money. Like they want to get paid. You want to get paid. Like that's what the money is the motive for anybody. Like that's why they were trying to, do that with the Dominican Republic, talking about 7 people have died here, and then some of the people died last year, some of the people died and they never connected them to it. People die in Costa Rica, people die in Mexico, they die anywhere. You could die anywhere. People die here. They have travel warnings from different countries when you come here, like avoid New York, avoid this place, avoid here because you could get shot, you could do this, that. So it's like either way you flip it, you're going to be in harm's way. And how I look at it, if you're going to die, you're going to die. So
yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, if this is my way to go, at least I was on vacation. I didn't do it.
I'd rather die on vacation than at work because I don't want to be clocking in and then I'm dying before my shift ends. That's the worst way to go. So
yeah, wasn't you telling me that somebody died on the job?
My dad died on the job.
Oh, that's horrible. Like you don't get to enjoy it. It's just like, no, I can't go like that. Like,
so no, like even being fired, like fire me before I get there, like just so I had a whole day to enjoy myself.
Sit there,
they'll make you work your whole shift. Like jobs really will make you work your whole shift, even a little extra. And then when you clock out, they be like, "Yeah, can you give me your badge?" We decided to let you go. It's in the company's best interest, and you're looking like you made me work my whole shift though. So it's like what? Like I had a job fire me while I was on vacation. And I was like, I don't even care. I should have stayed. I should have stayed on vacation.
Yeah.
So
I've been fired one time from a job, Amazon. Matter of fact, you guys should sponsor this video since I'm bringing your name up a lot.
Yeah, people are gonna go be like, what's going on with Amazon? I gotta see what's going on over there. So.
Yeah, so I know it's all right. Yeah. So yeah. But this has been a good one. But like I said, watch out for those kiosks. I think those kiosks might be the next thing. Once they get an automatic cook, it's it for your employees.
Yeah, it's over. No more kitchen time.
Yeah, once they get the automatic burger flipper and the cheese putter on her, yeah, that's it. Like, I'm be sitting there at the kiosk, or I don't even eat McDonald's first and foremost. Like, yeah, like.
So, do you think technology is taking over? Like, as far as
and it's going to continue to. I just don't know what the future looks like for like the workforce as far as like hands-on jobs. Like is everything that's so hands-on jobs.
I think it's just gonna create new avenues for different types of jobs.
Okay, there's robots now. They got the little dolls now, like the flesh. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
So yeah. I mean, everything's like even my Apple Watch. Like one day, I had randomly picked it up, and I noticed like this green flashing light, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, that was on my Fitbit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "What is that? Is that like scanning into my skin? Like, am I gonna be imprinted with something?" So I was like, "I should take this off," but I'm like, "No, I'm gonna try to, not be such a conspiracy spirit. Just chill."
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, the way I see it now is just like. The job, like you said, like it's just transitioning. Like so, I don't know. Like we also seeing like a lot of stores close like Sears and stuff like that. And
because the online market is taking over, that's why people don't want to go into a store anymore. And
I do though, but that's the thing. Like we still like get like the enjoyment of, like walking around, and that's why I said we kind of in the middle because like we still can appreciate walking around in the mall or going to like the outlet or something like that, or like just going to the market, like something like the farmer's market.
Like going to like a farmer's market, things like that. Because I remember in high school, the go hang out, we would go to the mall. Like we'll all meet up at the mall and go hang out and do things like that. Kids nowadays, they're meeting up online. Like they're like, hey, like FaceTime me. We're going to group FaceTime, or they'll be on Snapchat, snapping each other like different apps of like how they talk to each other on videos versus, I remember there was this one app in high school, I forgot what it's called, it starts with a V, that we used to all do with the group video chats. Ubu? Yeah, it was Ubu. Oh yeah, look, Instagram told us we got 1 minute.
Instagram is blocking us.
That's okay. I'm going to share that and go back.
But yeah, that was like, I guess really the Kickstarter for like FaceTime was Ubu and Skype and all of that. Like, because again, that was big when I was in college. So it's just like, that was like the beginning of it. And all they really did was just make it mobile, and anytime you make anything mobile, it's just convenient. And again, when we go back to convenience, banking, mobile, movies, mobile, social media, mobile, email, mobile, Anything you want to do is right at your fingertips.
Yep, it's at your fingertips because I remember I was against even using like a bank, and now I have mobile banking. Like I have my phone on my card on my phone, so it's just crazy how much like we like even people who aren't like bent on doing it, like you end up eventually like you're like, all right, this is more convenient for me. Like I don't have to go dig in I don't have to go to a check cashing place to cash my check to do all this stuff.
I never used a check cash place.
So
don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me.
I did. I was not beat for no bank. I was trying to live under the grid. Like those years when I was really on my journey, I was like, I'm not trying to have no bank trace me. I didn't even want an easy pass. I wanted nothing to trace me at all, in no way, shape, or form. Like my GPS was off on my phone, like the little locator thing. Yeah. The only time it would ever turn on is if I was home in my Wi-Fi. But outside, like using my cellular data and stuff like that, like I wouldn't even carry my phone with me. Like I used to leave my phone with my boyfriend at the time. I would leave him with my phone and go on about my day and use whatever phones were available to me because I was like, I don't want to be all on technology like that at that time. Whereas now it's like the flip side, like where now I have my phone in my hand all the time. So
I think we more like a little bit more conscious of it now. So like when we know where we going out, we'll be like, all right, because we know we always on our phones, let's like put it away. Right, you know what I mean? But yeah, it is kind of getting dark on the YouTube side. So next time I'll plug up the ring light for that, and then when it starts to go down a little bit, then we'll plug it up. So guys, thank you so much for watching Yatta Debates today. We had a really good conversation, Shelly.
Yep.
So I really appreciated this one, and we will be back. So I'm not on vacation anymore, so we're back on regular scheduled programming, and y'all can expect another Yatta Debates next week, episode 10. Next week will be episode 10. Fantastic.
Yes. Maybe I do something for the double digit.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll chop it up and see. We'll see what we'll do for episode 10.
All right, you guys. And we're out, Instagram.